been in this position as CEO of Nétive now for almost 8 months, maybe 9. How are you liking it so far?
No, it's really interesting. It's a great company. It's a great culture. Lots of really good people that are very committed to the business.
Yeah.
Obviously, we are now in a phase where we're looking to grow the business, expand our scope outside of the Netherlands.
Yeah.
And that journey had already started to a degree, but we are accelerating that. So I feel really good about where we are. It's an industry that is shaped over 25 years. Lots have happened in that first 25 years. And now, we have been in a period where I feel like the market hasn't really innovated that much.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the vendors that are in the market have become a little bit stale.
Okay.
And I think with what's happening in the world around us, and AI in particular, we are now in a position when we can start innovating at pace. And I think part of what we are going to do and part of the vision is to really speed up that innovation and drive faster to value for our customers and our partners.
Yeah, okay. And are there any particular areas that you see opportunities for innovation?
Yeah, so it's in very many facets of what we do. So the VMS industry always sat as the poor cousin from the countryside compared to the ATSs that managed the employees that organizations hired. And over time, more and more hiring has left the employee bucket and gone into the VMS bucket.
Mm-hmm.
And part of it has also gone into the service procurement bucket or the SOW bucket.
Okay.
And I think for me, what is interesting is Nétive actually has product in all of these 3 buckets.
Mm-hmm.
I think it will be critical for any player in the VMS or ATS space to be able to touch all 3 of these buckets.
Mm-hmm.
Because how can you otherwise do the strategic things you want to do, whether that is workforce planning, whether that is internal mobility, whether that is succession planning. Unless you can see all the talent that you're using in your organization, you're kind of hamstringing yourself quite a bit.
Now I want to focus a little bit on, let's say, the permanent recruitment space. So what are your specific ideas for that? Where do you want to go?
So we have since some time had an ATS inside of the VMS application stack or inside of Nétive's application stack. And to be honest, we probably haven't promoted it that much. We have probably not known how to position it, and some customers are actually using it, and it's a very basic ATS.
Okay,
but my point after having spent the last 6 years building out value around the large ATSs, most of those ATSs were actually quite basic.
Okay,
so my premise going forward is that we can rapidly increase value that customers can drive from our ATS because we have that core process, the A to Z, the requisition to the person being hired is already there. Mm-hmm. And then we can augment with additional capability around in the same way as we saw the large ATS players augmenting the capabilities of their ATSs.
Yeah.
And the ATSs is a dear conversation topic for me since I spent 6 years there, but they created as many problems as they solved.
Yeah.
And now they're busy trying to mitigate those problems or the effects of those problems.
Yeah. And any specific problems that you see with the current ATS landscape?
Yes. So this varies by country, and I'm being told by my HR colleagues inside of Nétive that they see a slightly different picture here in Holland. But one of the big issues is the influx of more applicants.
Okay.
And applicants that aren't actually a good fit for the role that they are applying for. And that started way before the AI wave that we're seeing now, but it will get accelerated because as an applicant, I can apply to more jobs using an AI tool. Okay. And that AI tool can help me adapt my CV and my cover letter to whatever role I'm applying for. So that is one of the issues. and that then becomes a massive problem for recruiting teams, whether they are outsourced or internal to the client, where they have to sift through hundreds, if not thousands, of applicants for each role to determine who do I take forward to interviews, who do I take forward to shortlist, who is left there. And there are lots of different ways of attacking that problem. One way is actually to start with, looking at what talent do you want to come into the business? Mm-hmm. Where does that talent reside today? is there a way you can start engaging with them and talking to them in a personalized ways that allows them to start thinking about, maybe I want to apply to this company. Maybe this would be a good next career move for me. So it gives you a complete picture of your total workforce, because your total workforce is probably today 1/3 or half employees, 2/3 or half the other two buckets.
Yeah.
So if you only manage your employees, you're missing 2/3 of your talent potentially, or half of the talent that you actually engage with.
Yeah, and why is that a problem?
Well, it is a problem if you want the best talent to drive your business forward, and it will vary by industry, of course. But sometimes it's a question of getting a person in to do a job. Yeah. And not necessarily caring about that person's skills or experience. In other scenarios, you deeply care about that, and you want to get people that have unique skills or skills that are new in the market and are developing and becoming more critical in the market.
Another topic I wanted to discuss with you is the position of the MSP, right? So Nétive is famous for helping MSP providers manage the programs of their clients. Do you have any particular ideas for that market, whether that's the Netherlands or outside?
I think we are actually in a really unique position to service the MSPs and help them get to value faster, both for themselves and for their customers.
Okay.
So, in our product, we have built a set of features that really allows the MSPs to package their service in a certain way and deploy it very quickly.
Okay.
So, today in the Netherlands, since I joined the company, one of my partners have won 6 new clients. They have deployed 5 of them.
Okay.
And they did so within weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is something that I don't recognize from my previous experience in the industry. So I think the ability to craft something that is unique to you as an MSP, it might be a certain industry that you're serving or a certain skill set you're serving, you can do that really well, where you define how you want your processes to be orchestrated and how you want them to be orchestrated every time.
Okay.
So one of my pet peeves, and people who know me will have heard this before, is why do I need to start with a white sheet of paper when everyone knows what best practice look like?
Yeah.
Why don't we start with best practice? And if I'm an MSP that are acting in the educational sector in the UK, or construction in the UK, or targeting public sector in the Netherlands, I know what that process should look like. Yeah. So why should I redefine it every time? Why shouldn't I just use that process and then I can tweak it with the client afterwards if there are things that doesn't work for the client?
Yeah. So you can use, as an MSP, you can use that deployment speed, which is part of, you increase the speed because you have expertise about the market.
Yeah.
You have a tooling that allows you to speed up the implementation, and those things together can make you way more competitive in the MSP market, I guess.
No, and again, I mean, if I can be live in 3 weeks with my customer, it means the customers can start driving value in 3 weeks instead of 3 months or 6 months or 9 months.
Yeah.
But it also means I can start invoicing my fees, and I don't have to finance that implementation for 9 weeks, 9 months. Sorry.
Yeah. All right. What are the plans for Nétive internationally?
Yeah, so our base is and will always be the Netherlands. We are very good at servicing customers in Holland, but we have started to look outside, and the first port of call obviously was Belgium.
Mm-hmm.
So we're starting to get a pretty decent footprint with direct customers in Belgium. We're starting to build out the partner network in Belgium.
Okay.
But we also went to the UK market a couple of years ago, when we're now starting to see really good traction with partners and also direct customers in the UK. We are not as well known. We are in the Dutch market. I've spoken about we are comfortably Dutch.
Yeah.
So if you're a Dutch client and you engage with us, you will feel at home.
Mm-hmm.
In the UK market, we're not quite there yet, but we have built a decent team, and we're starting to become comfortably British.
Yeah.
And some of us have lived there for a long time, and some of us are born there.
Yeah.
And then I guess the big market for us is the US.
Okay.
So in the new year, we are going to open up the US market. We are going to engage with partners, but also with direct customers in the US.
Yeah.
And the US is obviously the biggest VMS market in the world.
Yeah. What do you think that Nétive can add to that American market?
I think that whole speed to value, innovation, looking at that total workforce picture, I think that will resonate really well in the US. And there are certain things that we do around direct sourcing that is very, bread and butter in the Netherlands or in the UK, but is a big thing in the US. So I think that is something that will really feel attractive for US customers.
Yeah. Okay. Because it's what's your assessment of the American market? Is it do you see certain gaps in terms of industries or organization sizes, MSPs? Any specifics about that?
Yeah, I think if you look at the overall market, the focus in the past 10, 15, 20 years have been on the largest enterprise accounts.
Okay.
Multinational deployments, high complexity, long time scales. And in the last couple of years, people have started looking for what sits beneath that, whether we call that an SMB market or we call it something else. And I think there's a great opportunity for us to play there, because our model with the with the ability to have the MSP create their own multi-tenant environment, design their process blueprints, being able to deploy that fast and copy and paste and copy and paste and copy and paste.
Yeah.
So I mean, we have seen with some of the partners here in the Netherlands that very quickly they can spin up 30, 40, 50 customers inside of that multi-tenant environment.
Yeah.
And I think we will find some partners in the US that finds that an enticing construct. One of the most exciting areas is what AI tooling is doing inside software development and the software industry itself.
Yeah.
And there's a big drive for companies like ourselves who has been in business for 20 years that has grown up with software as a service in the cloud.
Yeah.
And now we are faced with younger disruptors that are AI native, that started out building their tooling with AI.
Yeah.
So how can we leverage some of those tools to innovate more and innovate faster?
Yeah. Okay.
And it's scary at the same time as it's exciting.
Yeah.
And I see that every day with my engineering teams in Nétive, that they are getting excited, but they also question, can it really go this fast? What happens to quality? How do we deploy this in a secure way? And that is an interesting journey where we are not talking about a 10, 20, 30% increase. We are talking 10x or 100x increase.
Yeah.
And it's just accelerating. So that I think will be core of what we do.
Yeah.
And we talked about giving examples of this. So one of the things that we built during the summer this year is a tool that works alongside our existing VMS, but is built in an outside tool, and we have infused AI in this tool.
Yeah.
And we can now do things that we could only dream of.
Yeah, okay.
So this tool is focused on capturing the data that you need to load into a VMS, and everyone that's been involved in a VMS implementation, either on the buyer side, supplier, or MSP side, knows this is messy.
Yeah.
The data doesn't sit within one system on the buyer side. Maybe the buyer even doesn't have some of the data, or they have a subset of the data, and the data moves every week as I submit timesheet, and timesheet gets approved, so it's very hard to get your hands on it. We've been able to build a tool that does that almost automatically, and in the end, the tool pushes that data set that has been validated into a new environment. So it radically changes how that data gathering and quality assurance of that data and loading of that data into the production environment looks like.
Interesting.